Feroze, on unbundling of TER, with SEBI now excluding statutory levies on GST, STT and stamp duty from the total expense ratio, which is TER, do you anticipate that AMCs will use this cleaner base ratio to actually lower costs for investors?
One is lower cost, but if you look at this move of bifurcating it, I completely think that it makes sense. But cost reduction, I personally think of 10 bips, 15 bips actually impacts investor adversely, in my opinion. Because you're already at 0.8, 0.9, 1%, the business is so low, thinly margined. Of course, in rupee terms, of course, these companies have great profits, asset management companies or even distributors have good profits. But this anyways a very thinly margined business. And anyways, the client already has another option which is called direct. 10-15 paisa bachane ke badli, he can go direct and bring down the cost by 50-70 bips. So tinkering with the cost on a long-term business model perspective, people create business models on the basis of a certain assumption. I don't encourage the change. If somebody is building a business, he needs to think 10-15 years. If you keep revising expense ratios, people have to change their business models. That's point one. But having said which, separating statutory brokerages from the main TER, creating a base TER and total TER is the best move. We are one of the largest distributors in India. We also find it very difficult to decipher this maze. So I'm very happy that they have separated it. But if the objective is to save 10 bips and demotivate the manager, then if the manager is motivated, he'll earn 2% more. Yeah, that's the bit I would say. And that's what, like so many other emerged markets, have not tinkered with the expense ratios. That's resulting in a larger scale for the asset management companies.
Back to you on, how SEBI has officially scrapped the 5 basis points additional charge allowed to widen the penetration. As a wealth manager with such a wide reach, do you think the industry has truly achieved that necessary scale in smaller towns to, thrive without this incentive?
Is the question directed to me?
Yes.
See, I personally think we have reached nowhere, any scale, close to what India's potential is. We have 70 lakh crore Indian rupees of mutual fund industry. If I have to just again convert the US mutual fund industry into rupees crores, as against 70 lakh crores, mutual funds of the US are 3,500 lakh crores in rupee terms. So we are just 2% of the US mutual fund industry. Of course, they have 38 crore people, 40 crore people. I have 140 crore Indians. So people might say these are not comparable, but I am just 2% of the US mutual fund industry. So have I reached any scale? The answer is a big no. Right? How many people buy gold vis-a-vis how many people buy mutual funds? You'll be shocked. How many demat accounts do stocks? And how many do mutual funds? We are not even as much penetrated as much as the number of stocks. People have independent stocks but have zero mutual fund. So we are nowhere close to tier 2. B30 ke aage to I don't see too much penetration. Of course, the proportions have become better because mutual funds have lost a lot of money to other more flexible platforms like PMS and AIF. That's on the wealth management and the HNI side. So I personally think the next 5-10 years, we should be focusing on scales which are sizable for a fifth largest world's economy, right? If we are not focusing on that and we are going to be penny wise and pound foolish, I think penetrations could be, of course, I might be a vested interest person, but from an Indian standpoint, I would say that focus on how do we get to 10 crore people, because picking up an application, going and picking up an application of a mutual fund itself costs more money than that, what you end up picking. Of course, digital has fortunately taken up, but there are other people feeding their families using an IFA model. But today it's not even viable to go pick up a check of 1 lakh rupees when I get 1,000 rupees per year, right? The client expects you to meet him. Right, so you will not even pay the Wi-Fi fee if you have 50 clients with 50 lakh AUM. So the scale, I think we have not reached for us to focus on cost. We have to focus on value. in
Focus
financial
on cost and
services, at
value
least
as
at this
well.
stage.
Yes, thank you so much, Feroze.